Greetings. Today the moon goes into Leo, heading into the early Sunday morning Leo new moon. So with the new moon coming up, we have the reset, the beginning of a new moon cycle. And so we complete the themes and the learnings and discoveries of the last moon cycle and begin a new opportunity to learn and grow and discover more about who we are, how to take care of ourselves, and how to flourish and thrive. I'm Marina Orms here with your Astro Vibe for Saturday, August 3rd, and the exact new moon is on Sunday morning Pacific time, 4:12 a.m. So it's in in the morning for the US for sure, and you can adjust for your time zone. And so that's Sunday morning. Saturday morning, also around 4 a.m. 4:09 a.m. on Saturday morning. So this video is for Saturday, and the moon goes into Leo. So we have a day on Saturday of the moon in Leo as we really begin to dissolve and surrender into that Leo new moon vibe. So a new moon is a dark moon. It's when the sun and the moon come together. It is the merging of the sun and moon in the zodiac. Of course, they don't physically come together because the moon is way, way closer to the earth than obviously the sun is. But interestingly, the moon, because it's, you know, many, many, many times smaller than the sun, but it's so much closer to the earth. The sun and moon, from our perspective as human beings view the sun and moon from earth, they are actually about the same size. And so again, from our perspective, what we see when we look in the sky, I'm not saying they are the same size. I'm saying they appear about the same size from our perspective, the same way you would be looking at a rock in your yard, and if you took that same rock and put it 5 miles away, it would look a lot smaller. You wouldn't even be able to see it. So the sun being so much further away is huge, right? It's ginormous. So in other words, what I'm getting at is that the sun and moon in our human experience is the coming together of these two different polarities, these two qualities. And so the sun has to do with radiance, shining, radiation and light and shining light. And the moon is not shining light, obviously. It is reflecting light. It is reflecting the light of the sun. So the moon has to do with our hearts and our feelings and our emotional experience and energy, things that are more intangible. The sun is visible. It is shiny. It has to do more with our minds. It has to do with our experience of logic and what we can see and things being illuminated and evident in the experience of light. And so what I'm getting at here is that the sun is more like our minds and the moon is more like our hearts, and they operate that way in astrology, in our charts, in the ways that they show up in our charts. So the sun will show more about who you are, how you express yourself, how you are seen, right? How you radiate your creativity and express yourself. And the moon has more to do with our hearts, our feelings, our emotions, our needs, that experience of a need to nurture ourselves and regenerate. So when the sun and moon come together, when there's a new moon, the heart and the mind merge. So that's what I was working up to here. So when we have a new moon, your heart and mind are merging, they are coming together, they are uh, dissolving into this experience of mystery. They become one. And so when we begin the moon cycle with the new moon, we're merging different parts of ourselves, more of our logical mind, more with our emotional heart. And when they come together, we enter this experience of mystery where we get to sort of start a new cycle, begin again, right? Almost like a kind of mini birth or rebirth. So we get that every month, right? Every new moon. And in this case, this new moon, which is a reset point having to do with mystery and hearts and minds merging or learning from each other, right? The same way that when two people come together in an intimate relationship, their energies merge in a sense. I mean, obviously, they're still two different people, but they influence one another, right? They become sort of inseparable in a sense, especially in that experience of intimacy. So when the sun and moon do that, we have this beginning, this new beginning, this reset, this seed time for the coming month when we can set our intentions for what it is we want to experience. So such a powerful time around the new moon to set your intentions, to get clear about what is important to you, because that helps you align with the path that takes you there. There are many paths, right? Many possible directions, distractions, things that may not serve this thing that you want to experience. And so when you set your intentions, it helps you get clear about this is what I want. And that helps you recognize it when it shows up. So, oh, and you might feel it intuitively. You might also see it logically, right? Heart and mind. You might notice, oh, this is something that feels right. So when you have set your intention, then the things that your intuition reminds you, oh, this is something you might want to pay attention to or follow up on or explore a little bit more, because you have gotten yourself in alignment with that path of what you want to manifest. And so when we use the word manifest, we mean to bring into being, but it's not like it's not like you say a magic word and something appears. That's not the kind of manifesting I'm talking about. The kind of manifesting I am talking about is when you set your intentions and it helps you be in alignment with paying attention to and discerning and making choices along your way that are going to help you manifest that, right? So it helps you be who you need to be and recognize the options when they show up and see where you need to take action, even if it might be a little bit of a risk. Trusting this intuitive sense that here is something that I need to explore. And so when you have that grounding in your intentions, the things you want to manifest, then the things that show up in your life can help guide you in that direction. And that's how you manifest it. Boom, you did the right things. You talked to the right people. You took action when you needed to take action. You said what you needed to say. You listened when you needed to listen. And that's why we talk about the moon in all of the different signs and how those different qualities help us along that path of manifestation. So set your intentions with this Leo new moon. Now, the Leo new moon is in the sign of Leo, which is the sun in its own sign, that is self-expressive, creative. It's about sharing and being who you are and not holding back, right? So a little bit of drama can go with Leo energy, but also that authentic self-expression. And so with the new moon, of course, the moon is also in Leo. So we have this energy of creativity. And this is a much more extroverted, I guess, outwardly expressed energy than our last moon cycle, the one we're finishing up here, which began in Cancer. And Cancer and the Cancer qualities have to do with internal experience of taking care of ourselves, our needs, getting our needs met, self-care themes. And so we've been talking about that here on this YouTube channel. And when we begin the Leo moon cycle with this Leo new moon, we get to move outward. We get to share and shine and shake things up and be who we are and sing and dance and say what we want to say. Now, that is true because it is a Leo new moon and it is a Leo moon cycle. At the same time, we have, during this Leo new moon, we have Mercury stationing retrograde on the same day as the new moon. So the new moon is exact at, what did I say, 4 something a.m., 4:12 a.m. Pacific time. And Mercury will be going retrograde at 9:55 p.m. on Sunday, August 4th. So the same day as we have the Leo new moon, which is about outward movement and expression and creativity and moving things forward in a way that gets things going, right? And that self-expression and finding that path of creativity. But with Mercury going retrograde, we also have this time, which Mercury retrograde always takes us inward. So it is, Mercury retrograde is a time when communication needs to happen internally. So we can communicate externally, but we can't expect things to move along like a speedy train. We have to recognize that it's going to be slow. Communication might get garbled. It is because Mercury has to do with connection. It's about being the messenger and how a message goes from one place to another. So that can show up in our communications, our email, our phone messages. Do we still have those? I think we do. Voicemails. In our computers and our computer systems, right? Anything that has to do with data processing, information, and communication. So in other words, it is when we try to push things forward with Mercury retrograde or expect them to move seamlessly forward, that's when we get frustrated and thwarted because Mercury is going retrograde. It's going backward through the zodiac in Virgo. In this case, Mercury is in Virgo. It will be going retrograde back into Leo. So as we complete this moon cycle, we have this Mercury retrograde for much of the moon cycle. So going inward. Now, how we think about that is we think about expression and self-expression and creativity, but we want to think about how we can explore and process our creativity inwardly. So experiment, do art, dance in your kitchen. It's like move in ways that are informing yourself rather than something that you're trying to push forward or outward into the world around you. So we're going to be focusing on creativity and self-expression. We're also going to be doing this inward process of finding the right words, the right information, the right way to share, the right way to express what it is inside of us. And so continuing to do that work will be a big theme of this moon cycle, how we move that communication and expression energy to an inward place where it is informing us, where it's informing you, and you're learning more about how you create and express yourself, which is really valuable, right? When you learn more about what makes sense and how you do it and what is your style and what works for you, it's helping to lay the groundwork for you to be able to later share that outwardly. And as the year goes on, we will have more of these outer planets going direct. Right now, there's a lot of retrograde energy. The outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, not quite Uranus yet, but a lot of those outer planets are retrograde, meaning that we are working on our inner selves. This is an inner time, an inward time, a time to recognize who we are, explore and discover more about who we are. And so with this new moon in Leo, we're going to be doing that by exploring creativity, but not necessarily pushing it or moving it forward. You can take steps, right? You can experiment, but don't expect things to just like take off like a rocket. It doesn't mean hold yourself back. It doesn't mean don't try. It just means take it one step at a time. If it doesn't work out, go back, redo it, right? There's a lot of redoing, revisiting with Mercury retrograde. Reconsider, remember, lots of opportunities to explore and try things in new and different ways as that inner process unfolds. Okay, another thing here is the approaching conjunction of Mars to Jupiter. Now, these both Mars and Jupiter are in Gemini. Mars will be conjunct Jupiter coming up in just a little over a week. And in the meantime, we have Mars getting closer and closer to Jupiter. So these are two planets in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. And the Gemini energy is about information, communication, learning, finding your voice, expressing things in words, using language. So this is a time to not stop yourself from moving forward, because Mars is about action. Jupiter is about expansion. So we have the planet of action and the planet of expansion coming together in the sign of communication and information and learning and mental processing. So how you can think about that is that you need to move things forward. You need to explore and experiment with words, language, creativity in general, finding your voice, finding your message. What is the way that you say what you need to say? And don't be afraid to try things. So it's just don't expect them to work just yet. You see the difference there? So by trying them, you learn, right? This is a time of learning. This is a time of learning about self-expression and creativity, finding your voice, finding the words, finding the messaging. So definitely engage. Don't hold back from experimenting with messaging. Just have a sense of lightness about it, right? Don't expect it to get immediate results or take off quickly, or it's more about that learning process and the value of how the universe asks us to reflect sometimes. And I just love this, right? The planets in astrology are not just 100% go, go, go. Very much the opposite. They're like, there's a time and a place for going forward, for taking action, for moving on things and jumping on, a moving train. But there are other times when it is equally, and in fact, sometimes it's more important to slow down, to go inward, to try things, to give ourselves this sandbox where we get to experiment, right? And learn how things work and what works and what doesn't work, and who we are and what feels good and what doesn't feel good, and how we can be most true ultimately to ourselves in finding that path of self-expression, especially when it comes to language, words, communication, and messaging. So, with your dear friends, your trusted confidants, your partner, your cat, in your own private journal, these are the places to try things out first, see how it lands, try it out in a bigger place, right? In a wider community or a wider audience, as makes sense to you, right? Always trust yourself and follow your own intuition about what is right. But the thing is, this is a learning process. So you are learning, discovering, and growing in the area of finding your message, your path of creativity, your self-expression, what it looks like and means to put that into words and convey, right? That's the purpose of words, to convey something that is an idea or a feeling or whatever. It's something that is something you are conveying to someone else. So how are you your own best messenger in finding the words to say what you need to say? So that's how we can think about this new moon. There's some sort of complicated and complex layers of energy here, but ultimately they are all true. And so how we look at it is how we can look at these energies all operating together and what that looks like. So set your intentions for what you want to manifest. Trust yourself as the universe reveals the open, when the doors open, you can recognize, because you have set those intentions, and you can go, okay, this feels right. It feels like I don't know why I need to go in this direction or do this thing, but I'm going to trust it because I set this intention and it brought me this opportunity, right? So we have to trust that unfolding of the path before us and what it looks like. And, often it doesn't look like or feel like we think it should or we thought it would, because of course we are learning something new, and we are learning and growing and becoming something we haven't been before. So that's how you create from the future and choose what you want to manifest, and then trust the process. Let go of your attachment to what you think it will look like or how you think it should feel, and trust that what is unfolding is in alignment with what you have put in motion. So that's why we work with moon cycles, and I'm here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care as we go through this moon cycle and explore the unfolding of these energies day by day as the moon moves through its different signs. The moon changes signs every 2 to 2.5 days. So experimenting with what that mood of the day is and how we can learn more about our own self-expression with each moon sign. So follow me for more. Hit that subscribe button. It's totally free for you. And thank you so much for being here. Again, come back. I'll be here every day with astrology for unshakable self-care. And it can be very supportive for you as you walk through your own journey and what this moon cycle is bringing to you. Thanks so much for being here. I'm Marina Orms. You can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.